Is sex work unethical? It's a question that's more complex than I think most people realize, because when I began at 18, I genuinely believed I was providing a needed service to humanity. But years later, after a deeply distressing personal experience, I had to reevaluate everything about man and sex and my own ethical framework for my profession. What I've come to understand is sex work itself is not inherently ethical or unethical. It is really context dependent. Some critics argue that because certain clients may be acting harmfully, so cheating, self-destructing, avoid accountability, in addiction, that the service itself is wrong. But by that logic, we'd have to condemn nearly everything. So food, alcohol, social media, I mean, even some healthcare, right? Anything that can be misused is capable of producing harm. The ethicality then lies not in the object or act itself, but in how it's used. Sex is a biological imperative. Intimacy is a psychological need. To pathologize the transaction of it while ignoring context is a moral oversimplification. In my view, work is ethically neutral. It becomes ethical or unethical only through the choices of the people involved, which means the same service can be either depending on intention, impact, and circumstance. And if that makes the answer feel complicated, that's because it is. Real ethics don't exist in black and white. They live in context, and context always depends. So if you're a worker struggling with this question right now, here is a simple framework that helped me. Number one is open your mind to multiple worldviews. So scientists, they don't just look for what confirms their belief. They consider all of the data. When I was questioning everything on this topic, I explored Jordan Peterson, Buddhist philosophy, radical feminists, views that completely contradicted each other. And that process expanded me. Number two, consider your own lived experience. So by the time I was questioning this, I'd already worked for years, and that data matters. Don't discount what you know in your body just because someone else's argument might sound more academic. And number three, be okay with having a view that evolves over time, because you're allowed to change. In fact, you're meant to change. You don't need a perfectly fixed opinion to move forward. Ask yourself, what do I believe about this now, and honor that. And if it shifts later, know that you'll adjust. And stay tuned for my soon to be released podcast episode where we explore this question in depth. We look at stories about it, we reflect, we even have a difference of opinion in how we approach it, everything.